Welcome, live from the show floor at Google Cloud Next 2025 here in Las Vegas. I am proud to bring you our biggest highlights of the updates to Google Workspace. My name is Jesse Nowlin. You know me from the channel tabGeeks. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. And my co-host today is...
I'm Roman Manson from Cobry.
I gotta say the kilt. I can't sit here next to you and ignore the kilt. He's wearing an actual kilt because the accent is real.
Not only a kilt,
Yeah.
Jesse, but custom branded tartan,
Custom-
specific to the with the Cobry colors involved in the design.
I thought you were going to tell me that there's nothing underneath.
We'll leave that one for the viewers to
Okay, or
speculate
that's
on.
custom branded too.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, you're from, Cobry's from Scotland, right?
Correct, that's right.
Hence the kilts. Long trip coming over here. I've been joking the whole time that we're here. I have the shortest flight.
Yes,
40
that's right,
minutes.
that's right.
Although I think there's one person here who's born and raised in Vegas. So I may have been beaten by them.
That's not too bad, yeah.
But-
Yeah, not too bad for me either from Toronto, but some of our UK guys flew over as well, and yeah, that was a rough one for them.
It's been a wild trip. You guys came in like super early, right?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday. I also came in Monday morning. I feel like I've been here a month.
I know. Yeah, time goes differently in Vegas for some reason.
It does.
Yeah.
It's first of all, you don't see sunlight for like the entire
Yeah.
time. I went out earlier today just to get some sunlight. I was like, I need some vitamin D. Like,
Yeah, praise me with some
Yep.
delicious sunshine.
Yep. Are you going to the workspace party outside?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm on the guest list.
Leave
but I'm
the
gonna try.
jacket. You can have my ticket because
Okay, you got
I
it.
gotta leave. So, but I was out there before doing a behind the scenes video. Stay tuned for that. That's coming. A whole behind the scenes video. A, it's hot, but B, it's awesome. It's poolside. It's a lot of fun. So
I love it.
Go
I
and
gotta check
enjoy
out.
it. Definitely. All right. We had the keynote yesterday. We had some sessions. I've actually only managed to make it to one session, which was what I called the Workspace keynote, was the Workspace Spotlight,
Right.
where we had Christina Bear and I'm blanking on her name. Yuli.
That's right.
Come out on stage and tell us about all the new amazing Workspace things. We're going to break them down here. Not all of them because we don't have time for that. They're
Yes.
going to throw us out in a little while. We got to go to the next sessions. Like I said, I've only been to one of them, and I have to leave in 2 hours. So let's go through some of the big ones. I think the biggest one is Flows.
Let's do it. Yes, my
Flows
favorite.
is everybody's favorite. It can't not be your favorite. They're trying to do our work for us.
That's right. And well, as you said, Jesse, this was something that was announced actually last year, but now we're actually getting to see kind of what it's going to look like, right?
Yeah, it was actually, I believe it was called Workflows.
That's
when was it Sundar who announced it at I/O? I'm trying to remember. I was there. I have the video. I got to go back and find it. Maybe I'll put that in B-roll if I can find the footage. But it's come a long way. Apparently they reworked it or something, and now it's Flows.
It's excellent, yeah. So the concept of kind of being able to use either action or time-based triggers to be able to automate a whole bunch of actions, almost like a if this then that type of
Exactly,
right?
100%.
But then on top of that, you get the Gemini or the ability to add a prompt in to then generate, fresh content or material based on what you're trying to achieve. Pretty magical.
This is a game changer.
I think
This
it's
is
gonna be
literally getting
transformative.
us to the point of having an assistant to do stuff for us, which is what the
Right.
promise of this whole AI thing has always been, right? This is where we've been going.
Right, this mysterious idea of agents, right? This is like actually a practical example,
Yeah.
finally, of us seeing that in a way that you can deploy as like any end user in a company, right?
And you did a demo of this, I believe. Apologies for the interruption in the video, but at least I'm doing it in a picturesque location. Hopefully this is a nice, serene, relaxing moment for you. But I have to talk about MoveBot. I have here with me Colin from MoveBot, who's the sponsor of this channel, longtime friend of the channel, and who without I would not be able to do most of the videos, or if not any of the videos. So thank you very much for your support. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jesse. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Why don't you tell us a bit about MoveBot?
Sure. So MoveBot is basically a next-gen data migration platform. If you're wanting to move data into Google Workspace or between Google Workspaces, tenant to tenant, we have a fully scalable product. You don't have to worry about setting up any infrastructure. We can connect over 30 different platforms. Really easy to use, and it should be for sort of Google to Google migrations or migrations into Google, really point, click, and go, and honestly, as simple as that.
It is super simple. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jesse. Thank you.
That's right, yeah. Well, so we did a demo with the product manager, which was amazing. They walked us through a couple of examples, and I think what's really interesting is we asked them a question on kind of what's the overlap and connection between agent space, right?
Yep,
Because
I asked the same question.
right, similar to our product, but it was an interesting answer. So agent space, more GCP geared, maybe larger enterprises, whereas Flows is really supposed to be for everyone, every workspace user, right? More ubiquitous across any company size, any department. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see what people do with this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a force multiplier. And that's one of the things that I've been having this conversation with a lot of folks here is that, like, we talk about AI and this concept of AI, and there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, AI is going to take our jobs.
Right.
And from everybody I'm talking to, I'm finding out that the opposite is true. And I have a crazy stat that Google has been throwing around here that 30% of the code that Google has generated this year has been written by AI.
No way.
But get this, they didn't let anybody go because they have AI writing code.
Right.
All they did was ship 30% more code.
Right, exactly.
Which made them so much more productive. And that's where we're going with a lot of this. We had the event at the Sphere, which I posted the video on the channel, where
Unreal.
Google, mind-blowing, just my jaw hit the floor. I have not been in an event in a long time where I was just speechless.
Right. The moment where they had like the 16:9 or the original
the
film
3:4.
format, and then it just slowly but surely like zoomed out and it filled the whole sphere.
Yeah.
Oh, magical goosebumps.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There was an audible gasp from the entire crowd in the entire stadium, not stadium, but Sphere. If you've never been there, it's a big, like, think massive IMAX,
Yes.
right? And everybody just,
Incredible. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the beginning. They're experimenting really and figuring this out. But
Right.
imagine where we're at 5-10 years time.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
The tech in terms of the film industry and entertainment today
it's-
is going to feel primitive.
yeah, no, it's a complete game changer, and there's going to be so much that you can do with this, and I think video games are also going to benefit from this. But to my point is that this created probably millions of hours of man work, working with AI, man work, man, woman, whatever, person work, human work,
Right.
working with AI, that would not have existed before they embarked on this multi-million-dollar project and will continue. So it's actually the opposite is happening, where we're creating more jobs
Right.
and saving jobs because of AI as opposed to
Which is kind of
you know,
being
losing it.
the historical trend anyway with tech innovations. I think my personal mission has been tried to be is kind of now focused on helping people use AI so that they don't get left behind, right? Because it should be a way to augment your capabilities and a way to achieve much more than you can as just with your human intelligence. It's a way of leverage, really. So, yeah, I think this flows capability is going to allow a ton of different people to be able to automate and save tons of time that they can then use on higher value activities, right? Providing more value in whatever their role is, whether it's marketing, sales, operations, delivery, whatever.
Yeah. No, 100%. And not only that, so many of us, if you ask anybody at any work, anywhere in the world, any job, how you doing? I'm busy.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we busy with? It's busy work. It's BS. It's garbage. It's I'm doing emails, a million things back and forth. And then if you're emailing somebody outside your company, the thread is 18 times longer because each email client appends a ton of crap to the end of the emails. Everybody's signature, you're just scrolling for days. What a waste of time.
Exactly. What would you be able to achieve if you saved 20% of your time, by automating through AI, or 50% even? I mean, that's incredible, right?
Yeah. I mean, Google's literally writing 30% more code by utilizing AI. So no,
Exactly.
I've been wanting something like this to come for a long time, where you literally can have an assistant. And I don't mean like an assistant to help you to understand things or teach things, to do things. It's like an intern.
Right.
But it's getting finally to the point where it's not as dumb as an untrained intern.
Yeah,
No
well,
offense to the interns.
Maybe that maybe that would be an interesting segue into some of the other announcements, because I'm noticing this general theme that the AI and Google Workspace that Google is building is more kind of collaborative,
Yeah.
and it's more of an experience rather than, I think of it, I compare like the current way that you interact with Gemini kind of like chess. There's like one move, like you enter the prompt and then it spits something back at you.
Right.
But with things like Canvas, which was not something they announced at Next, but before actually, you have a more of a two-way kind of discussion, and you can use both AI and human intelligence in the production of the output.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. I think that's the next evolution of where we're going.
And I think we're seeing that right now in Notebook LM. The Notebook LM session is next. I'm going there to see, first of all, I love that team. I interact with them on X all the time. They're amazing.
Legends.
And actually Josh Woodward, who was the boss of Labs and Notebook LM, he just got promoted to like all of consumer AI. So he's going to be involved in a lot of this. Notebook LM is still part of that, if I'm understanding correctly. And like, you can do that conversational level back and forth on Notebook LM, but it's only your data.
Right.
And it's the same level of Gemini intelligence that you can actually interact with, to your point, where you have that conversation as if we're having this conversation here, but we're not always in the same room or the same country.
Correct. Exactly. Well, yeah, and this maybe takes us on to one of the announcements that was made at Next, which is when you're in Google Meet having a video call, there's kind of this like kind of meeting assistant type situation. So like if you're not in the call, they'll recap what was said for you, which was teased before, remember? Right?
Yeah.
Like the idea of an AI bot, like, attend for me.
That's okay. My bot and your bot will have a meeting and they'll send us the notes.
Maybe we'll get to that at some point, I don't know.
Yep.
But then there's all kinds of other clever things like more helpful follow-up summaries and actions after. I think that's going to be incredible. I guess we're at the start of where that's going to evolve to, but I think that could be very powerful. So I know that people use the help me take notes, help take notes for me, a ton,
changer.
right?
I love it.
Everyone loves that. Yeah.
I don't, every single one of my meetings has it on by default. I don't start a meeting without that because I don't have to take notes anymore.
Exactly. It's the best.
And granted, a year ago, it was janky. It had issues.
Yes.
Even now, if you have a meet that you're on where you have not everybody on their own individual connection, it loses its mind. I don't know who's who. I don't know what's saying this. Jesse is saying everything. I don't know. It gets a little, goes off the rails. They'll get there.
Yeah, it doesn't like that. Another announcement that I was really impressed by was Google Vids. So I made a bit of a statement that my position is I think 2025 is the year that the majority of companies are going to really see the value of video content, both internally and externally. Like think about training, being able to provide motivational, speeches from maybe a sales manager or stuff like that.
Oh God, please no.
Maybe that one's not so good, but maybe the AI can improve it.
Yeah.
So VO2 being accessible via Google Vids, that supercharges the original concept with basically being allowing anyone in a company to be able to produce video with no kind of specialized tooling or the ability to use that tooling.
Right.
But adding VO2 in, that's just going to add a whole level of professionalism and creative freedom that wasn't there before. So I'm very excited about that. And
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How often did you use Vids in the last year?
Well, not too often, but
same. Almost never. I opened it up a couple of times. First of all, not even everybody has access, I just learned. We're special,
Right.
That S on my badge means special. Actually, we have no idea what the symbols mean, but whatever. I've had access for Vids for a long time. I'm a GDE. GDEs get... You're not a GDE. You should become a GDE. GDEs get early access to things where, the biggest contributors to the community and so on and so forth. Hence this video thing that we're doing.
Right.
And so I've had access for almost a year. And in the beginning, it was slides, but video. And then it started to get better and better. And every couple of months, I would look at it and be like, oh, they added a new thing. With VO in there, I am going to be using this on the regular because it is the simplest, fastest, easiest way to get a beautifully generated AI video. I mean, I could use that for B-roll.
Exactly.
It'd be fantastic. When are they going to integrate it into YouTube?
I don't think that we even understand yet how this is going to be used by companies, and I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah.
But that brings me on to another thing which I'm excited about. So one of the most popular...
Your transitions are on fire. Let's go.
Look, I'm a professional at this point. So one of the things that I've seen people really love about Notebook LM is the audio overviews, right?
Yeah.
The podcast. Being able to have two hosts talk about your content. Incredible. Even join the conversation too, which is just, mind-blowing. So that's getting integrated into Google Docs directly, so you can generate either basically a read-through of the document, which is cool, or a kind of podcast style like Notebook LM. So this is a really cool direction as well that Google's moving in. It's giving you more mediums to be able to learn and consume content, right? And not everyone learns. In fact, most people I don't think learn very well by reading tons of text, right? But listening, some people find that a lot more engaging.
Well, it depends. Video is the best way that I learn, and specifically video at 2x speed, which I can do in these tools. Other people are like, how the do you listen to that? Like, how do you hear what the person is saying? My wife recently was at a conference. She was one of the speakers, and they filmed her session. And I played it back at 2x. She's like, I can't even understand myself at that speed. How do you understand what I'm saying? But you can do that if that's the best way that I learned. I think to your point in shifting over the education sector for a moment, this is a game changer for education.
Yes.
I did terribly in school. I didn't even graduate high school. I got the GED and was like, screw this, I'm fixing computers. I had my own business at that point. I was like, I don't need school. If I had had this tool set in school, and I'm telling this to high schoolers now, if I had had Notebook LM in school, I would have had a completely different experience. Unbelievable.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm jealous of the students these days that are going to be able to use these tools. It's incredible.
So the other thing that I was going to mention was in the docs, when you can have it read it to you, you can also have a Gemini now do, when you used to go to Gemini in the app and you used to refine it, that's going to be built into docs right now, where it'll just automatically, again, the always-on helpful assistant automatically suggest, hey, maybe we can make this conversation or this paragraph stronger, or what's the tone that you want to put in here, and just as you go, build all that out. Now, at the end of the day, sure, you're going to have people that are saying, oh, it's just all going to be Gemini writing and Gemini translating and Gemini reading, but that's what we want, right? We don't want the busy work, which brings me back to the earlier point of we're all so busy with what? We found it, we figured it out, it's just slop. It's just all of this other, I guess slop is probably the wrong word for it because that's how I would use, admin work.
Right.
Slop is what you say when it's all AI generated crap that's all over the internet. It's terrible. Don't go on Facebook. It's everywhere. It's taken over. But the admin work, it's just constant. And so this is going to be able to do so much of it for us.
Well, speaking of something that takes up a lot of time, data and analytics, or even that's maybe like putting too much of that's maybe putting on a pedestal. Working in a spreadsheet and working with data, even in basic ways, right? The new feature, well, let's hold the phone a minute. Explore. One of my favorite maybe my favorite feature in Google Workspace ever.
I actually forgot it was new because I've had it for so long.
Right, true. Well, this is an incredible capability. I used to love it. It was one of the first natural language type AI capabilities built into end user productivity tools like Google Workspace. So I love that capability so much.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And now they're going to launch this even more. I guess it's kind of a relaunched version of Explorer, but more of like a data assistant almost, where instead of having to hire a data assistant or learn the skills to be able to do so, you can use AI and speak in natural language with it and get helpful outputs. It even shows you how to make the argument better, like or gives you insights into your data, which is amazing, right? That you maybe didn't uncover.
And this is another element of the vision that we saw maybe last year and the year before about where this is going, actually coming to pass, right? You can have your job as a data analyst, you sit down, you're great at spreadsheets. You put all your data in the spreadsheet. Maybe you use Gemini to help you clean up the formatting, make it pretty, whatever. You send that off to your boss or to another team. They don't have to ask you questions. They can ask Gemini those questions, and Gemini will just have your data, which you worked hard on, and have all of the correct information. You don't have any risk of hallucinations there, I think. Don't quote me on that. Maybe. But it's just going to be able to answer those questions where the admins can get it right away. You're in a meeting, it doesn't matter. They get the answer.
It's like self-serve almost, right? Which is beautiful.
Yeah, it's fast, it's simple, it's straightforward, and I would say that I think this is probably in closing because I think you have to go soon. But the one thing that I really took away from the keynote and from the announcements this year is it's a hell of a lot more grounded in reality. Things are available today, tomorrow, next week, this quarter, not maybe.
And we're actually getting to see real live demos of capabilities that exist today, right? Rather than more concepts, which is cool.
The developer keynote is happening right now. If you're interested in what's happening, that is recorded. You should go watch it. I have it on good authority, though. All of the demos that they are doing on stage right now in the developer keynote are 100% live. There is no recorded. Anything that goes wrong is going to be because the Wi-Fi sucks, probably. But it's all, the tools are there. They're working. It's all real data. It's all live right now today. And so that, I think, is a fantastic step forward because a year ago, that was not the case.
Exactly. This is what we want.
Yeah, this is where we want to be.
Good job, Google.
Good job, Google. Thank you. Keep it up. 30% more code means it actually shipped on time, I suppose. Any last thoughts that you want to share with the audience?
No, I was blown away. In general, my overall thoughts of the keynote is update after update, all the focus on AI is outstanding. I love the way that they're making it practical and easy. This is Google's strength, right? They don't make clunky technology. They make it easy for the end user to access and get engaged with and get value of. So I'm just excited to see how people will use these capabilities this year. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. A real moment where this AI stuff is going to become something that everyone in a company has to now get involved in, or they might get left behind.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, is that it is actually usable now. It is actually intelligent. It is helpful. And companies literally that are not doing it don't have that extra 30% of code generated or 30% extra work that they're able to do there. And I think, I agree with you. This is going to be a mega year for it. Google I/O is coming up next month. I will be there reporting, so stay tuned for that. They always drop a few more extra workspace tidbits on the main stage, so stay tuned for whatever those are. I actually don't know what they're going to be, so don't ask. If you have other questions and comments, drop them down below. Like and subscribe. Go check out Rowan. Where?
You can check us out at Cobry.
Cobry. Cobry.com?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Cheers.